All right. Well, it looks like we're underway, I guess. And Alan Rolon has the first break. Keep in mind, it is rack your own, break from the box, call shot, call safety.
So it is break from the box. It's not break from anywhere?
I believe so.
Okay, great.
I don't know. I haven't been here. I was here 2 days early. I guess I was too early.
Ah. Yeah, we should have a really fine match here. These guys are very comparable to one another, talent-wise, and I think we might have a hill match from the get-go here.
Yeah,
I'm going to go out on a limb and predict it.
These guys can definitely shoot it out. A lot of people do not know Alan because you haven't seen him on any kind of pay-per-view or free live stream. But wait till you see the talent of this left-handed player.
Mm-hmm. And so the 10 obviously does not count on the break, so that'll come back up.
Right. Not in any pocket.
Right.
Yeah.
And because the pink, or the 4-ball, is blocking the spot, they have to get it as close as possible, just behind it, in line with the middle diamond. So Josh is going to make sure that they're there. There we go.
We just got a message from Emily Duddy. She's going to be on her way and come up and say hello to everybody.
Oh, great.
Pretty cool.
I'm kind of shocked that she wasn't playing in this event. I mean,
I thought she was, but then something came up with, I forget what tour she had to go play on.
Oh, okay. I tell you, I don't see much of a problem here other than the 4-ball, but the 4-ball does pass in the side, goes in the side pocket. He just has to make sure he comes down underneath it.
Yeah.
And that'll be, to me, that looks like the key shot, the 5 to the, or the 3 to the 4 there. And it looks like he's got a good angle to swing down underneath. Just has to beat the 5-ball, which he should have no problem with. What do you think, Al? 2 rails or possibly 3?
Yeah, he'd probably come in with behind the 4-ball for the side pocket. He just took a look to see if it went in the corner, but I don't believe it does from our angle. So you're going to see him come off the long rail and kind of slide in behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Like that.
Yep, he got there too. That's a beautiful shot. Fortunately, the cue ball's on the foot rail there, so I know he would have liked to have had it off that rail there so he could have more of the cue ball to work with, but he should have no problems here. Great shot. Got a little bit of a tickle on that 8-ball, kind of threw him off a little bit, but he still should be able to hold the rock a little bit or possibly spin around. I think he'll hit it with inside. Just hold the rock there. Yeah, he did that beautifully. I tell you, watching this table roll right now, it's rolling absolutely perfectly. Absolutely perfectly. And you got to give it up to Manny Stamatakis here at Steinway for really making sure that these tables are in great shape. They always are. And that really, I know the pool players really appreciate that.
And you guys watching, we do have a chat on the pay-per-view. You got to click the launch chat or something to that nature. I know a lot of people are not familiar with it. We see a couple of people in there right now. Yeah, you're right. And I'm glad you said Manny's last name. As many years as I know them, I have trouble saying it. Alan Rolon looking to go up 1-0. And like I said, you know, a lot of people don't know this young man. I call him a young man. But he's a force to be reckoned with. You know, he wanted to play in the U.S. Open, and I know everybody wants to play in the U.S. Open, but I believe this young man has a chance. He leads here 1-0 on your scoreboard.
Looks like the table's racking pretty good, too. I know that on the TV table, at the U.S. Open, each player was having a pretty difficult time racking. Even though they were using a template and everything, they were still having a difficult time getting the balls frozen. And I think they just were trying to, from what I understand, with feathering the balls a little bit, they weren't trying to create any gaps or anything like that. They were just trying to disperse the energy instead of it being, because that template brings the energy inward towards the 9-ball. And they wanted to make sure the energy was basically going straight up so they could have a better spread. So that's why they were having a little bit of a difficult time, because that rack, that AccuRack, is just it just really sucks the balls in.
Yeah, that's Chris Renfro.
Oh, yeah. Best template on the market, in my opinion. Yep.
Well, this rack here we're using is a sponsored rack. It's a Delta rack. You can see right behind Alan Rolon there is a logo, Delta 13, along with the DeVito team and Ozone Billiards, and of course the NAPL. Yeah, the template, I would have to agree.
Yeah. And it's funny you mentioned the Delta 13 rack, because my two favorite racks that I use at home are the AccuRack by Outsville and Chris Renfro, and the Delta 13 rack. I love the Delta 13 rack. Best triangle out there, I think.
That's what I hear. And I know they're on board with a bunch of people. Wow, he kind of overdrew that.
Yes, he did.
He's got it, though. I believe he's got a shot.
This is going to be tough, though. Obviously, the cue ball going away from the 4-ball, and he's got some congestion down at that end of the table. Al, I know that you're one heck of a 3-cushion player, so what would you do here to avoid that congestion?
I would punt.
Punt.
You know, you play safe here. I mean, if you can't get the cue ball, if there's any risk at all, I mean, he can possibly draw it out behind the 9, let it run behind the 9, but you got to kill it with enough inside English so you can get between the 5, 7.
That's a tough shot.
It's a tough shot to get back around like that.
Yeah, especially
he's looking at it, though.
Yeah.
He wants to get behind the 9-5 and escape the 7. The 10 ball is real big here. Well, he just slow rolled it. That's even better.
He's going to be in trouble. Yeah, and it rattles. That's always a tough thing about trying to hold the rock like that. You know, you're so focused on that and keeping the rock out in the open that you forget about making the shot. Unfortunately, sometimes.
Not a bad shot at all.
Yep.
Hey, Rocket. Give me one of those so I can tell the people about it. Just make sure you pick it up off of me later on. I just want to tell them all about it. All right? Yeah. Yeah. And they get in touch with you, or they get in touch with Lenny, find you on Facebook or anything. All right. What time do you play? 1 o'clock. All right. Well, if you could sit in for 2 minutes and we'll show it right here, we'll put you on camera. If you get in here right now. This way you could explain it. I know how, just give him enough rope to hang himself. He'll take care of the rest. Gonna mess up your hairdo, brother.
Funny.
Got it? You good?
Very good.
You're on?
Test. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, we hear you.
I just talk soft. That's all. Oh, there we go.
Talk soft and carry a big stick.
That's it.
All right, let's wait until Josh Roberts pockets this 10 ball, and then we'll put Rodney Morris on camera, and I want you to see something here. All right, here he is, the Rocket, somewhere here.
There he is.
Right here.
right
You know,
here.
Rodney, we've been promoting that DVD for you up at the Turning Stone. Camera's
there we
up
go.
yonder.
Hey,
This
what's
is the
up, guys?
DVD. Tell the folks about it at home.
Hi, it's rocket science. I always thought pool was easy, but I didn't realize. It took me 30 years to realize it really is rocket science. So this is my best DVD I've ever done. Well, it's my only DVD I've ever done, but it's still the best. And it's almost 3 hours of content, and I tell some stories and go over 8, 9, 10 ball breaks and positions and bridges and all kinds of stuff. So, and then you can click on the chapters and so if you want to get to things that you just want to specify, you don't have to go through and listen to a lot of stuff. But I got friends that message me on Facebook that I've sent it to. If you find me on Facebook or get in touch with me, I can personalize it and ship it out to you for $40
Wow.
total. Yeah, so.
Now, personalize it means autograph it? Is that what that means?
Yeah. I can write their name and stuff like that.
And they get in
so.
touch with you on Facebook?
Yeah, it's easy to find me on Facebook. Yeah,
Rocket
I got the
Science.
big head. I got the guy with the big head on Facebook. So
Rodney the Rocket. Rocket Science, covering all aspects of the game, folks. 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball, aiming, breaking, bridging, and jumping. Massey. Wow, look at this. It doesn't end. Massey, kicking, position shots, question and answers. Wow, they got Q&As too. Road stories, what's in the case, and wrapping up.
Let me tell you, I can attest to that because through Lenny Marshall, I was able to get a download from him, buying that, and it's fantastic. I watch it a lot.
That's
That's,
really
that's,
great.
that's
Yeah.
another
Very
good
good.
point
Thank
that
you,
Jared
thank you,
brings
yeah.
up. So not only can they purchase it, they can actually purchase a download.
Yeah, you can get it from me physically, or you can get it from Lenny on digital copy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There you have it, folks. From the horse's mouth to you, and he's got to play at 1 o'clock. Thanks, Rod.
All right.
Thanks for sitting in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, back to the match. It's 1-1. Jared Arisamina stepped out for a quick sec. Josh Roberts up at the table. Right after this, it's going to be Darren Appleton versus Shane Van Boning coming up right after this match. If this match should run over the time schedule, we're going to hold up Darren and Shane. Well, this is a hard situation. He's got to play the right speed, and notice where the 7 ball is in the upper left-hand corner. So I think the option here is to stay below it and play the 3-7 combination. Why take the risk of getting on top of it and playing that small little window?
That's a very good point. That's a good call right there.
Boy, he got there.
Did he thread the needle? Look at that shot. What a shot.
Beautiful shot. Top notch. Like I said in the beginning, somebody to watch, that's for sure.
That's just beautiful right there. That was textbook, knowing your angles.
Yeah.
And knowing your tangent lines real well. That was just gorgeous. Gorgeous shot. Yep. Just a little tappage there.
Do you see him go? Which way do you see him
I see
going?
him drawing right back. Yep.
Nice shot.
Yeah, he had enough of the pocket to where he cheated one side of the pocket so he could draw it back straight. He looks pretty home free from here. As the original Snookster would say, he's hitting pretty sporty right now.
Sure is. I didn't like that.
Yeah, as soon as I say that, the commentator's jinx goes into effect there. Well,
but then again, for a left-hander, he's used to that side of the table and
that's right.
likes this shot. So to each his own.
Ooh.
Kind of rattled the pocket.
Yeah.
Watch the rock. Okay. Darren Appleton, Shane Van Boning up next, folks. I'm out promoting it right now and putting it on everywhere that I possibly can. So if you hear silence on my end, don't mind me. I'm not ignoring. I'm just doing things.
That's right. All the guys out in the truck, they're on break right now eating lunch. So Al's taking over the whole entire truck.
Actually, I do have the truck now. My RV's across the street.
Love it. Love it.
All right, let's get the score updated. Alan Rolon goes up 2-1. I know Puerto Rico's watching. Not only that, a lot of Puerto Ricans came in here yesterday from the island greeting Alan. He's pretty well known over there in Puerto Rico.
That's right. Now, for anybody watching the stream, if you'd like to find out a lot of the scores, or if you want to find out brackets, you can go to qscore.com. That's CUESCORE, qscore.com, and you can see some of the live brackets there.
Round by round. Yeah. Is it live? Are they doing the scores live?
Yeah, that's what from what I've seen, at least the other day, they were doing it pretty.
Really?
Pretty. Yeah, they're
That
keeping
must
up
be
to date.
Ron
pretty
Mason
good.
working on it, huh?
Yep. Well, if it's Ron Mason working on it, then you know it's got to be live.
Yeah.
One of the best. Now Allen here on the break off. Cue ball gets kicked a little bit.
I think that's the only rack that he broke. He didn't pocket the 10 ball, but it came close to the left corner pocket where it went in 2 times.
So he pocketed the 1 ball in his side pocket. Now he's got a little bit of a problem here. He's got a full view of the 2, but unfortunately no pocket. And the 8 ball impeding its path. So he's got to try to find a way to play safe here. This is touchy here. I mean, he might be able to feather just enough of it to bounce off the bottom foot rail, come up the long rail, and possibly, hopefully, get behind the 5. But that would be one thin shot, and it takes a lot of accuracy.
He's
to do
kind
that
of looking
shot.
at the carom into the 10 ball from here, but there is no two-way shot.
Right.
You know, you got to either call one or the other. He's rolling. He's going to pocket the 10 and spider, I guess. But what position does that leave him in if Josh gives it back to him?
Mm-hmm. I tell you, I don't know about that shot, Al, because I've seen Josh cut these in hundreds of times here using inside spin. He could fall right behind that 3 ball. And yeah, he did it. Yeah, that's the only reason why I didn't like that shot too much, because Josh, I mean, he can pocket the ball from anywhere.
As good as anyone, yeah.
Yeah. Looks like 3 of the 4 the key shot here. If he can get on the 4 good, he should be pretty good here. No problem for Mr. Roberts. I know he came up a little bit short. I know he wanted to be a little bit straighter on that ball, but he should be able to swing a couple of rails. Great shot. Use bottom inside spin, but oh, what a brutal sport this is, folks.
Well, hitting into balls like that and running into balls can cause problems. So either he might even have this shot. From this angle, we really can't tell. But if he doesn't, he's got just a partial of the 8 ball to jump over. He's going in the air.
So I'm assuming that obviously jump cues are allowed in this, right? Is that
They are
right?
allowed, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, what a marvelous shot.
And keep the stick in your hand. No, he's okay.
I think he's okay. I couldn't tell if that 6 hampered that pocket a little bit. I mean, that was just a brilliant jump shot there.
Yeah, it doesn't look like there's much of a pocket.
Right.
He split it.
Wish I could jump like that.
Well, when you practice on somebody else's table, it's pretty easy to do.
Yeah.
I tell you, he got out of line. He's back in line now, and just the signs of a true professional player. I mean, he can hit him with the best.
Sure can. Tell you, Josh Roberts, one heck of a one-pocket player. Let me tell you, that's one of his main games.
Yeah,
one pocket.
he walked
Brilliant.
in. He walked into Steinway some time ago, like he just walked off the street and he's just stopping in to say hello and have a coffee or something. He wasn't fooling me. I happened to be here, and I said, "Hey, Josh, what are you doing?" And he got into a couple of matches here late at night.
He can hold his own, that's
Yeah,
for
he
sure.
does.
No matter which discipline he's playing, he can definitely hold his own, that's for sure. He doesn't want to be on that rail. He got a little bit of a bump off there, but should be no problems for Mr. Josh Roberts. And he misses the 10. Now that is unusual.
That's going to cost him, is
yes,
what it's going to do, especially for a left-hander on this side of the table.
Yep.
If the cue ball was on the opposite side of the table, it makes it a little more difficult. But from this side of the table, kind of makes this shot look easy to a left-hander.
Good shot there. Nice.
Absolutely. 3-1. We're racing to 9.
I tell you, with a shot like that, Josh has to obviously put it out of his memory. He's just got to let it go. I mean, that is a big momentum swing. Instead of, being tied 2-2, you just basically gift wrapped, a rack for your player there, and that's
Right.
he's got to get over that. Just let it go and get back to business here.
Well, he knows that. He's seasoned. He's been around. He travels. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot at stake here.
Oh, yeah.
$7,000 plus there's a $5,000 in the side pot.
That's
for first
amazing.
Place.
Wow, that's
somebody's walking out of here with 12 grand. That's going to snap this tournament off.
Not bad for 3 days' work, huh?
Not at all. Watch the rock as it sinks.
Oh, yep.
10 ball nowhere to be pocketed.
Now, see, I got to tell you, I've never been a big fan. I mean, maybe because I'm so rules oriented when it comes to playing pocket billiards, but catching the cue ball before it goes in the drink like that, there's certain tournaments that will say that's an automatic
Absolutely.
Automatic loss there.
Absolutely. Good point. Good point. And of course, these two gentlemen have respect for each other, but
yeah.
it has nothing to do with your opponent, whether he's a friend of yours or not. If there's a referee on scene for
That's
every
right.
table,
That's
says
right.
foul.
Yep.
Your friend's going to sit there like he's dumbfounded, but there's nothing he could do about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of tournaments where that's considered unsportsmanlike conduct, and
Right.
it'll cost you that rack, actually. So
I think it actually cost you 15 balls in straight pool, too, or 16
That's right.
balls in straight pool.
you're absolutely right. That's
Yeah.
right.
I kind of learned that. Don't know much about the game.
Right. Well, as Josh is running out here, I got to say, mentioning the 14-1 straight pool, what a fantastic job you did.
Oh, yeah, we did that, too, yeah.
I'm sorry that that you got caught up in that little bit of discrepancy, in that one match.
Well,
But,
I spoke to both players, and that's all water under the bridge.
Yep.
I said to Jason, I said, you know what would have been really nice? I said, if you got up and shook his hand and said, what a great shot. I know you called the wrong ball, but it was a good shot. But
Yep.
Jason had a point. Also because,
The
they
foul had
call-
been called earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And,
But-
Earl's human.
Yep.
You make a mistake, it costs you.
That's right.
So,
Well, I tell you, you handled it like a true pro. I mean,
Well, we
when
tried.
you were saying, I don't want any other players around here, let's just get
Yeah.
the tournament director over.
yeah, because everybody
John Lehman.
wanted, not only the players, there was a lot of people that wanted to huddle around and,
Sure.
and take a look at it and listen to it.
I could see that everybody, even the Railbirds, everybody was becoming a
lot of people
a referee at that point.
within that vicinity wanted to, yeah.
You handled it like a true pro, like you always do, Al.
I
and,
don't get involved.
Tell you.
If they asked me to get involved,
Right,
yeah,
right.
I would get. Like, Al, what do you think about this hit? Yeah, I would get involved, but of course with nobody else around.
Right. That's
So-
right.
Josh is tasting blood. That miss on that last 10 ball might have lit the ignition fuse, as Alan Rolon says. You got it. 3-2. Josh going to be breaking.
Yep.
Let's see if we can get a quick ad in for Predator. It's a long commercial. I
My
read it-
favorite cue of all time, Predator.
Let the cue be your brush. The table, your canvas. Your game, a work of art. Icon. Make your next victory a masterpiece.
All right.
Jared Arasamina, Upstate Al in the booth.
Yes.
Back to the match.
And just in time for Josh for the break-off here. Cue ball gets kicked around a little bit. Two ball almost finds a side pocket. And unfortunately, dry as the Mojave Desert.
I noticed, especially in this 10-ball game, the last few matches that we watched last night, the majority of the balls are really going up table.
That's right.
when they had the ruling like 3 balls got to pass or 2 balls and a ball pocketed. No problems here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Now, was it down at the U.S. Open? Was it in the behind the kitchen line, or was
Yes.
it just past the side pocket?
No, it was behind the kitchen line,
Oh, okay.
the head string, yeah. Whereas the previous year it was the side pockets, but this year still it was a 9-inch break box on each side, 9 balls spotted on the spot, on the foot spot.
I think I know why they changed it to the kitchen. Corey Deuel has a lot to do with changing rules when it comes to break.
Well, that's what they called it, the dual rule.
Yeah.
That's what they call it, yeah. But yeah, it was, and you know, the 9 on the spot. I mean, the Europeaners and the Asian players both have been playing 9 on the spot with a small break box for many years now, at least 5+. And unfortunately, you know, here in America that hasn't caught on quite as yet. But now, since more tournaments are saying, okay, especially 9-ball tournaments saying you have to rack the 9 on the spot and have a smaller break box, we are now catching up a little bit, which is good. I like it. I like that rule. I like
Well, now with the 8-ball, with Darren Appleton's World 8-ball series, it's going to be break from outside the box.
That's right. That's right.
There's a different rule because the reason being, Darren said it's too easy to break within the box.
That's right.
And break the game 8-ball. And the rule is you got to hit the head ball. You cannot hit
no second ball break. That's right. There's so many people that will do that second ball break to try and kick the 8-ball in one of the side pockets, but also it creates more clusters. So you know if you're playing an opponent that has a higher skill set than you have, then it's a strategic break. Breaking by the second ball. So you create more clusters, more work, pretty much guaranteeing that you'll have at least another inning at the table. So,
right.
Yep.
If you're not playing Jason Shaw.
Of course, who can run out in like 54 seconds or something ridiculous like that.
Jason Shaw will be playing in it. Not only that, Dennis Acola, we were talking, Darren and I were talking to Dennis outside, and Dennis says that he's going to try to bring over 10 players from the Philippines that we haven't seen on American soil yet.
Oh, wow.
To play in that World Series 8-ball tournament that Darren started up. So I think we're in for a few surprises. If that comes true, we're in for a bunch of surprises.
I'll tell you, I've been talking with Darren quite a bit, about what he's doing with, with basically his pro league.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you, this is really going to shake up the pool world in a good way. This is a very positive thing. This is something that, in my opinion, that the pool world, the professional pool world, has needed for quite some time now. They used to have it back, when they did the Camel Pro Tour years and years ago. Unfortunately, because of mismanagement, things went awry. But Darren Appleton, he's got a worldwide plethora of information and experience to get something like this together here in the United States.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really grateful that he's actually picking up the reins here. He's seeing what's been lacking. And he's
the pros have nothing to do,
right.
really. They wait for the U.S. Open. They wait for a pro event to pop up every other 4 months, 5 months, and they lay back. There's really not much to do. So it just adds to it. And if he gets the points, the Moscone point ranking from Luke Richards or Barry Hearn, where it could be USA and European ranked. I think that's another good thing, and not only that, it's world ranked.
That's exactly
WPA
right.
ranked.
That's right.
So, Darren, I'll tell you one thing about Darren: if he's going to do something, he's going to do it 110%.
Without a doubt.
He's a very classy guy. He wants everything to go right. I'm sure there's going to be little things that could be tweaked, and we're going to learn from this tournament.
Yep.
But he's determined to cover all bases.
Yeah, he's a total gentleman of the sport, and I have to say one thing I really admired about him is before he even got underway with putting this thing together, he reached out through social media to the fans and asked them, "Hey, what do you think?
Yeah.
We're thinking about doing something here. Do you prefer 8-ball, 9-ball, 10-ball?"
Right.
And it was just an outrageous amount of people that said, "Hey, 8-ball sounds really good. There's really nothing out there other than to make it happen and a few other spotty tournaments." So what I like about it, he's tapping in not only to the players but the fans, because you bring the fans into it.
Yeah.
And you get more viewership. That brings the sponsors.
Well,
and I think it's wonderful.
There's no sense in doing something that the general public doesn't like.
Right.
You know, if you really enjoy it, the minority enjoys 8-ball, and then I mean the majority, then let's do it. You know, it's what they want, and like you said, he gets inquisitive. He asks a lot of questions on social media. He gets the answers and he goes with it.
Right.
But when you start dealing with him on a personal basis, I call him Shag. Shag, you know, the first time he called me that, he said to me, he says, Al, where'd you get the haircut? I said, where'd you get yours? Darren's bald, you know. So we joke with each other. Then he called me Shag. I said, what'd you say? He says, that only means pal. So
Right.
from now on, I call him Shag.
Shag, that's right.
But when you get up close and personal with Darren Appleton, he's so intelligent as far as covering the bases. 1 second, we got John the table mechanic. John, why don't you sit down and spend some time with us? A bottle of water. Bottle of water's fine. Got John the table mechanic. We call him Klawinski.
Yeah. One of the
but-
best in New York, that's for sure.
Yeah, and all over.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, they pay for his travel, and he goes all over the place. But anyway, getting back to Darren, he's sharp. He's intelligent. You know, he's got the IQ to put everything together. And when he's doing it, like I said, he's trying to cover all bases. If there's a tack in the rug that has to be dealt with, he wants it dealt with. He wants everything to go perfect, and you
Right.
can't blame him.
Right.
You know, he's putting his reputation on the line.
He's a perfectionist anyway.
Absolutely.
So you can tell by his pool game already what kind
the
of a
business that they
individual,
opened up.
right?
Yeah.
What kind of an individual he is, and he's a perfectionist, and he really cares.
Yeah.
He cares,
Yeah.
you know.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you.
All right, we're going into rack number 7. As you can see, Alan Rolon leads 4-2.
Al, I can't tell if that one passes or not. I mean, it looks like it does. Oh, there's a great angle. Yeah, it does. Once again, let's give it up for I almost said AccuStats there.
That's
Sorry.
all right. If you make that mistake, I consider that a compliment. That's
know,
quite
you-
all right.
you
It
give
looked like it went anyway.
Yeah, it sure did. I think he just overcut it there a little bit. But, yeah, let's give it up for AZB TV and Upstate Al here. I mean, these camera angles are phenomenal.
You know, we could have put more cameras out, and we decided not to put another 2 on the opposite side of the table.
Right.
For some reason, I don't know. I think Upstate was tired. I went up and down the ladder too many times. So
That's
we put
okay.
only 6.
That's all right. Hey, listen, 6 is great.
But we're in the process of getting something new where we can bring in 12.
Do you have the automated camera?
That little pan and tilts up there, yeah,
Was
we
that
sure
what that
do.
is? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, we got that.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a nice little gadget. I kind of dig it.
Yeah. Oh, you can't beat
Doesn't cost you much, and
that. I tell you, Upstate
really
Al.
comes in handy.
Upstate Al with all the gadgets. You got to love it.
well, you too.
Yeah.
You know how it is to be in electronics, and
Oh, yeah.
Jared's got everything under the sun.
I tell you, Allen is looking pretty good here. He
Yeah.
really is. He's hitting real good. One thing I like about him, he seems to be making making good decisions, really good decisions. Not trying anything too risky.
I hope the
Look at this.
thought of him
Goodness
playing
gracious.
on the live stream isn't affecting him in any way, because when I told him that he's playing on the live stream table, he kind of like, really? You know.
Wow.
He says, I must be playing somebody really famous. I said, you're playing Alan Rolon.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked over, he said, who's that? So he really didn't know who Alan was. I
Right.
said, he's from Puerto Rico. He plays a good game.
Right.
You know, he thought maybe he was playing Earl Strickland or something.
Right. Well, he'd have to be playing. He'd have to play somebody that plays a good game. I mean, everybody in this event
Yeah.
can snap this thing off.
You ain't
I
kidding.
mean, there's some world beaters here.
Get down to Steinway, folks. We had some action in here last night. I can't disclose it, but I'll tell you what. You get down here and you can play for a couple thousand a rack. It was
Yep.
heavy action.
And unfortunately, Allen hits what I like to call devil's point.
And that's one thing. Who was it? Copigny?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Copigny. He did yesterday was he froze a ball to the rail,
Uh-huh.
and then he
Long
shot
rail.
it up the rail, and then he froze a ball to this rail and shot it up the rail. And he did the same thing on this side. Now, these two went in. This one went in, but this ball going up that way, which Alan just hit the
Just
point
hit the
of,
point, that's right.
was the only one that didn't go in when
Yep.
Copigny practiced on this table. So he fell right into it.
I tell you what I do is to really make sure that I'm not, spinning the ball or, hitting dead center. I'll line up 4 balls frozen on the rail and frozen to each other. And then
Right.
I'll hit the, the one closest to me, and it'll kick straight energy up the table. That's a good way to really, really tell. It's hard if you just hit one ball up the table unless you have absolutely dead
Right.
perfect stroke and dead perfect center ball hit. So that's the one thing that I like to do is I like to line up 3 or 4 balls, all frozen on the long rail, all frozen to each other, and that way you can test out to see if the point is sticking out, if the rails are absolutely even. I tell you, I really don't see any problems here for Alan here. He's looking pretty good. Just a little bit of spinach off of this, or he might even just pull it straight back. And he spins it. That's the safest way to go. You ensure yourself a really good angle there. Probably hit this with a little bit of a pinch shot off the rail. Keep the angle intact on the 8-ball across side.
I'm sorry, Jared.
No, it's okay.
I know you were talking about kicking that ball.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, but you got to kick it so clean, and it just sticks to that rail.
That's
boy.
exactly right. That's why I like to line up 3 or 4 balls, and
Right.
make sure that they're frozen to the rail and frozen to each other. Everything's frozen, and that way it's pure straight energy.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've seen it done many a times, and that's a good point.
Yep.
It kind of just rides the rail, perfectly.
And speaking of good points, it'll let you know if it is a good point or not.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Or a bad point.
Or a bad point.
And the bad point for Josh is that Alan Rolon's going to put another bead up. It's now 5-2. Once again, folks, courtesy of Dr. Michael Fedak adding another 5,000. The NYC 8-Ball Championships singles. November 5th through the 6th, right here in Steinway Billiards. We'll be bringing you a free live stream, which we did the last couple of years. And the field is filling up. So if you like 8-ball and you want to get involved, go over to NYCPoolChampionships.com.
I tell you, that's the one that I really wanted to come up here and enter in as well, because the 8-ball's right up my alley. I've been practicing a lot of 8-ball lately, but unfortunately, I'm performing. I'm performing in Houston, Texas over that weekend, so...
And you just got done performing in Washington,
did.
D.C. before you got here, didn't
That's
you?
right. I performed last night at the American History Museum. I did a special concert there. Luckily, it ended at 10 o'clock. I was out the door by 10:15, and my wife, Connie, picked me up in the car. We left straight from the museum and came straight to New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some hole. You talk about dedication. I mean, that's a ride. Let me ask you a personal question. You don't have to answer it.
I'll answer.
Put him on the spot now.
I'll answer anything. Believe me.
Listen. The pool world is really, it's larger than what we could imagine. I'm telling you right now. There's more, in other words, take the game of darts, take the game of pool.
Mm-hmm.
There's more players in the game of pool, astronomical players, as far as an amount, in the game of pool and billiards than there is in darts.
That's true. Here in America, for sure, yes.
Why on earth we can't get this game off the floor? I mean, darts is on ESPN. I mean, it's just, what are we doing? I mean, we know Jason Shore is going to be on ESPN. I think it's coming up shortly, 25th or something.
I think the Challenge of Champions.
Challenge
right?
of Champions.
That's right.
Why can't we get this up where it belongs on a regular basis?
Well, without going into any great detail, I think that what ended up happening years ago when it was on ESPN, let me just put it in a nutshell. I think it really has to start with the players. I really do. I think the players have to really come correct in a lot of what they do. I know that most of them are coming correct with what they do. But back in the day, there was some, let's just say, shenanigans going on, and it really didn't look good. And I think that what ended up happening is, especially with companies like ESPN and such, it kind of turned them off a little bit, and they don't forget. ESPN and multimedia corporations like that, they have a very long memory. So I truly believe that it's up to us up to us, the pool players, we the pool players, to really just try and take the straight and narrow and really come correct. I mean, it goes a lot further than just having dress codes for every tournament. It goes a lot further than just making sure that you keep your appearance and keep yourself looking good and keep yourself in great shape. It goes a lot further than making every single tournament so that you're visibly seen. It needs to be a concerted effort by the world pool players themselves as an organized group to be on the same page and just to say, okay, we need to change. The pool is changing.
Now, we do have a lot of
we need to
professionals
change.
on tour already
Right.
that represent the game well.
Yes, we do. Yes,
So-
we do.
I just needed an opinion because
Yeah, we could use more though. We could use more.
Absolutely.
If we could get more players on
sort
the
of
same
like
page.
union, like have a union ties.
Absolutely.
Like everybody
An
be
organization.
on the one page.
That's right. That's the one good thing. That's why I have a lot of hope for what Darren Appleton's doing,
But,
because he's starting to do something like that. which
Yeah,
is great,
I understand that, but baseball players they represent themselves well.
Right.
Of course.
For the most
they're
part,
in
yes.
uniform.
Yep.
Of course, when they're playing.
Right. They're in uniform when they're in public. It's just like as soon as they walk out of the door, when they're on their way to the ballpark, they're dressed in suits. I mean, they're on. They're in uniform then as well.
I've seen them casually dressed also and just
Yeah.
hanging out. You
right,
know what I mean?
Right.
But handling themselves at the same time. But I also seen them in suits a lot
Sure.
of times coming out of the lockers or in the hotels, traveling just dressed in suits. And you're right. But we put all these pool players in suits. I still don't see the pool getting lifted off the ground. I guess that's a good foundation to start.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, and I'm using that just kind of metaphorically.
Yeah.
I'm basically saying that it's a mindset. If more pool players can change their mindset to basically look at this thing as a team effort in an individual sport being a team effort.
Right.
Getting together like what I know Darren Appleton is trying to, Darren Appleton, is trying to do with a lot of the players right now, getting them together, getting them to basically buy in and to understand his vision for what could be here in America. You have more of that happening, and I tell you, I see great things happening for it. Like you said, there's millions and millions of players here in the U.S. already. Thanks to leagues like APA, BCA, NAPL, the Predator Pro-Am Tour here in New York. I mean, there's so many different types of outlets to where you can play. So I'm just hoping that as long as the pool players, amateur and pro alike, can actually kind of change your mindset a little bit. I think that'll help. I think it'll go a long way.
We have a timeout on the table, and that's why we switched over to another table. But real quick, we have a gentleman in the booth that I was talking about. His name is Justin Muller, who actually just put a little man cave together very nicely, a little big man cave. And we were talking about light-systems.com, the new lighting design. Give me a lot of, or give me some of your input or output or whatever you want to call it, whether it be positive or negative, into light-systems.com.
I personally have no complaints. The light gives great light. It actually worked out great for me because the way my table was sitting, I had a header, so I didn't really have much height, and they have this thin light. It's only about 1 inch thick, so it worked out great because I didn't really have the height where I could have put something that was a foot, thick. So it worked out great. Plus, it gives great light. There's not a shadow on the table at all.
Right, and how about the guarantee or anything like that? What was like if something happened to it or anything?
I forget. I think it was like 15 years or something.
That's
Something.
incredible.
It was something like they guaranteed
Wow.
like 10 or 15 something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's unreal.
I hear they're pretty affordable too. Is that right?
Well, I don't know. It's
It wasn't. I think I paid like somewhere between I paid like $500, $700.
That's incredibly
Yeah.
affordable, actually,
Yeah.
if you really think
Yeah.
about it.
But
now, did they install it?
they installed it.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
All right, we got to get back to the match. We wanted to throw Justin Muller in the booth just real quick. Justin, now you can get out. Only kidding. You know the door's open for you.
I'll
at
be
any
back
time.
later.
Do you know Jared?
What a pal. How you doing?
Pleasure.
Jared
Good to see you,
Harris,
buddy.
the meaning
Good
of
to
the
see
jazz
you.
man.
Yeah.
Justin Muller. All right, Justin. Thank you, bud.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, folks. I told you I'd try to get him in, and there he is. One of the gentlemen who just purchased that light. He said it cost him about $500 and change. So
I tell you, that's going to be my next light. Ever since the very first day that you actually put the graphic up on there. I'm like, what is that? So I started doing research on it, thanks to you.
Yeah,
and let me tell you something. That's my next.
Not
light
only
I'm
you,
getting.
Steve Lomax did
Yep.
too.
Yep.
A lot of people are getting that light. Steve Lomax more or less wants it for his work area.
Yeah, sure.
You know, give him really nice lighting.
See, that's why I like it too, because as you get older,
I was just
you,
gonna say
you
that.
need you need more light, basically, and trust me, I'll be 50 in a couple of months, so my eyes, I can feel it,
Yeah,
to where I can't read small print as well as I used to unless I
Unless you have a
shine
light.
a lot of light. So, the pool light that I have at home is just a basic like little four par, basically twist in. Each one is 100 watts, but they're like the fluorescent. So I have a lot of light on my table. It's the only way that I can really see it good.
Right.
But it's about the light dispersion. And let me tell you something. That's the one thing I like about the light systems. That's
No shadows. You heard what he
that's
said?
what I heard. I'm loving that. Be able to see the actual crisp edge of the balls. From 9 feet away.
His neighbors didn't like him. I'll tell you that much. His neighbors didn't like Justin. He lives really in an exclusive area.
Right.
Of Long Island, and he had bulldozers coming in and excavators. They were putting
Oh, my.
foundations in for. Yeah, he did some project to put that little man cave together.
Yeah, I'm sure he
big
did.
man cave.
I wish I could do that, boy.
Anything we can help you with this,
My table at home is a 9-foot table. I have a vintage 1950s Victor 9-foot pool table, which is kind of like their version of what the Brunswick anniversary table was.
Yeah, it had me fooled. I tell you,
Yep.
it's a beautiful table.
Thank you, and I tell you, but I have to use a shorty cue on some shots, unfortunately, because
Yeah.
I was adamant about having a 9-foot table in my home, but not enough room for it, unfortunately. So.
Been there and done it.
Yep. So I wish I could have the let's just say the means to bust out a few walls and expand it a little bit. That's a dream for me. Maybe one day.
Well, that's what he did. He made sure he did it right.
Yeah.
And did it from the beginning.
And getting back to the match here, looks like Josh has a little bit of a tough shot here. He's behind a whole wall of balls here. He looks like he's going to try to kick 2 rails. This can be a touchy shot. He might even call the 4-ball if he hits it good. We'll see. And he hit it with speed. He was definitely going for the combination 4-ball. I don't think he'll be getting this one back, even though he might. But no, he won't be getting this back. So Allen comes to the table now with a shot on the 3 here. Not a great shot, but a shot nonetheless. He'll be able to do something with it. Might just roll up on the 4. He's looking at it. I know he wants to fire at this ball, but it's probably safer to just roll up on the 4-ball, roll the cue ball up on the 4-ball there. Get a little bit of safe there. That's what he's doing. Yep. Hit it perfectly, too. Look at that. He didn't quite marry it to the 4, but he still took away a big part of the angle there. So he's going to. This should be a pretty easy one-rail kick here. Couldn't hear if he called safe or not, but anyway, regardless of that, Allen will take this shot. Looks like everything is pretty much out in the open here. All he's got to do is pinch this back a little bit. If he can just beat the 10, he should be okay. That's it. Hit that pretty good there. At this angle, I think it'd probably be safer to either stun it 2 rails or possibly just bounce off the bottom rail there, or even draw it back. Yeah, drew it back to the long rail. It's got the proper shape on the 5 now. Overhit it slightly, but he can still, he's got a straight enough angle here where he can draw it back. Yep, went to the rail instead, which is good.
I like kind of staying right there. Unless he's got slight angle, then he can shoot the 7 in the upper right-hand corner.
Yeah, it looks like he's got slight angle, so I think that's going to be the shot there. It looks good. And now he's right back in line again. He's in good shape here.
Pretty impressive, this young man. And a really nice guy, too. If you
Right.
get a chance. Doesn't speak that much English. He'll be the first one to tell you.
Yep. Well, I tell you, I've seen this gentleman play before. I knew who he was, and he's a world. He could be a world beater without a doubt. There's no doubt about it. Stops the rock perfectly.
See just how he holds the butt of the cue. I don't know if you picked it up there, you folks at home, and then watch when he just pulls the trigger. It's just click.
Yep.
That's all.
He has great mechanics.
He's also going to have a great score.
Yep. Tell you, he's looking great here, Al.
6-2. Yeah, he's running away with this. Josh is kind of struggling right now. He can't get in his rhythm because Allen's keeping him right in that freezer seat.
Even when Josh has had his chances, I mean, I personally don't think he's gotten that 10-ball miss out of his head. And I think you're right. I think maybe him being on the stream table, if he's not used to something like that in an event of this magnitude, that can get to you. That can get to you.
Yeah, there is a lot of people sitting ringside.
All you folks out there, I think Al mentioned that our next match is going to be Darren Appleton versus Shane Van Boning. Is that correct, Al?
Yeah, next match, yeah.
So if you could please go to social media and share that. I know that Al is wearing a lot of hats right now, working with social media, letting you know what's going on. So if you could please help out a little bit and just when you see his post, please give them a share, give them a like, because let me tell you something, that really does help to reach out to the masses there. And we really do appreciate your support. So it looks like Allen pocketed the 9-ball, and yep, the 9-ball. He's looking at the. It's so hard to tell the balls. Oh, there it is. Okay, yeah, he's saying looking at the 1-ball there. Doesn't really have a pocket unless he wants to go down table in that bottom left-hand corner pocket as you're looking at your video. That might be the thing, or he may be just calling safe here. Yep, he just played safe. Very smart play. This is the one thing I really like about this young man. He knows the shots. He knows when to go for it. He knows when to lay back. I'm really impressed with his decision making, and it shows in his score. And Josh Roberts going to the air here, possibly. Now, what do you do here, Al? I mean, if you're jumping a ball at this length here and the 10's kind of down
First of all, he's got to watch he doesn't foul the 4-ball,
right,
you know,
yeah.
and it's a tight situation. Just go for the hit.
Yep. I don't know if he would call the 10
I
just
would.
in case. Yeah.
I would. There's no just in case in this
Yep,
because it's
yep.
call shot, call safety, but I'd just call the 10.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy, I hope he just called the 10 because if that would have went in, he would have had a heart attack. You know, when you're down 6-2, everything counts.
That's right.
So,
Yeah, you got to go for it.
Yeah. This is a tough table, Jarrett.
Yes,
tough
it is.
table right now.
One of my favorite tables, as a matter of fact, though, in this room, I got to tell you, other than the triple shim.
Well, I'm not saying tough table as far as table playing. Tough table as far as the layout.
Oh, yeah,
The
definitely.
layout's tough here. Look at this.
Yep. Yeah, this is a bank player's dream, this layout.
Yeah. You know, getting back to Dennis Acola and bringing over 10 people with him, that's really stuck in my head. I really hope that it comes through, even if he brings over 5 unknowns
Right.
that we don't know here, that haven't stepped foot on American soil, would be a thrill. And I think Dennis is another very smart cookie. Get to know Dennis.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Dennis, let me tell you something. Nobody knows the game as well as he does, that's for sure. He really knows what he's doing, and he talk about those players that are unheard of. Oh, he knows them.
He's very intelligent,
Yeah.
and I think what he did was, he realized, I think there's 10 Taiwanese contingents in this, or 11. They call themselves the Taiwan Typhoons,
That's right.
and they're walking around with red jerseys. I'm not
That's
sure
right.
what color they have on today, but Dennis must be saying to himself,
Oh, poor Josh. I tell you, Josh he couldn't buy a roll right now if he were in a bakery. I feel so bad for him.
He's struggling.
He's struggling big time. Not used to seeing him struggle like this.
You know, Dennis may be saying to himself, you know what? I mean, they're doing this. Why can't the Philippines do it? You know,
Yep.
Filipino people are real proud of their country.
Yes, they are.
You know, like anybody should be.
Yep.
So I'm hoping it comes through. Look at this. Alan Rolon looking to get rid of some of this mess up here. He really wants to play this 3-4-8 combination, but
Right.
that looks ugly. I don't think it even has a chance of going. He might play the 3 and then play the 4-8, or if you know he threaded the needle in rack number 1.
Boy, he sure did.
And if-
I'm still drooling over that shot. That was amazing.
I don't think he's going to attempt to thread the needle between the 3-4 here.
No.
So
I mean, you got to play the combination here, right? To do the 2, or
I
well,
don't even know if that 8 ball has a chance to go. If he's looking at it that hard, well, it has a chance, but boy, you got to wind up perfect.
right.
Play the 2 off the 8. How about this?
Yeah, that's the shot.
How about this?
That the old kickaroo.
He's thinking of combination. Looks like he can play the 2 off the 8 here.
Yeah, that's the shot. I think you're absolutely right, and I think that's what he's going for. Unless I can't tell from the angle. He might be lining it up to just. No, he's got to play it off the 8 ball here. That'll clear it right out.
Between the 3-4 from here. He's undecided.
Wow.
I like this. And we knew this was going to be a tough table. And then take a look
yeah.
at the 5-10. You know, still got work to do.
Oh yeah. I like your shot though, Al. I like that 2 off the 8. That pulls the 8 ball out of there. It's just controlling the rock and getting a shot on the 2 again and controlling that 2 ball.
Yeah, you know
or controlling the controlling the rock, get a shot on the 3.
You know what's bothering him? The 8 ball's so close to the 4 that if you play the 2 off the 8, you got to control that 4 ball.
Right.
So that's what he's doing. I think he's playing the 2 off the 8, but you got to control the 4.
Yep. That's
Because
right.
the 8 hits the 4, could cause a problem with the 4-3. Didn't hit it.
Now he's still got a shot on the combination, so that's pretty good. That's a better combination than what was there. So now once again he's got to control that 3 ball, right?
He should do all right.
Yeah.
He's not going to hit this that hard.
The one thing he wants to do, he wants to hit that 4 ball as straight as possible, and that pocket, the 4 ball is so close to the pocket, he's got a wider shot at doing that. So, oh, look at this, the cross body. And the ball just doesn't fall. And once again, that's whenever you get your cueing arm underneath your stomach, that always makes a shot a lot more difficult. That's for sure.
Josh coming to the table. He has to shoot left-handed. Got to watch the foul on the 5. Now, he can move the 5 accidentally, but has to stop and let Alan know he moved the 5, and Alan has the option to put it backward. This is hard. He's leaning way over the table. It's desperation shot for Josh, and he makes it perfectly. Oh, my God. I talked to Larry Ross last night. I said, you better get your ass down here in plain English. And guess who walks in the door?
He's looking good.
Larry Ross.
Mr. Larry Ross, I can't tell you how good it is to see you, sir. You're looking great. How you doing, sir?
Come here, sit down.
Okay.
I told you, make sure you get your ass out of the house and come down. I'm glad to see you. All right. Go say hello to everybody and then come back.
We'll keep a seat warm for you. Glad you're here.
He doesn't want to catch any germs. You don't want to catch any germs. Thank God, Larry.
For you folks at home,
Good
Mr.
to see you.
Mr.
Getting a little
Larry
cold
Ross,
there,
he's
Warm up.
one of the best people I know.
You want to put your hands over here?
Yeah, there we go. All right, now let's get back to the match here. Looking at Alan here, cueing a little bit. He's on the roof, but he's been cueing so good lately. He's just got such a smooth stroke, and his mechanics are so good. That shot posed no problem for him. Kept his head down, kept his upper body still. That was a beautiful shot. Looking pretty good here. He's got a couple of options to swing around 3 rails, or he can just hit it with inside spin and just bounce 1 rail out. He decides to go the proper route. I think that's the proper shot. Ensures the angle on the 8 ball.
Yeah, the natural angle is
Yeah.
really the best way to go
Always.
if you got it.
That's right. And also now, over to my left, I'm looking at my all-time favorite player and my instructor and mentor, Mr. Earl Strickland.
Isn't
He
it
just
something?
said hello to Larry Ross. And it looks like they haven't seen each other in a little while, so Earl's face just lit up. That's so good to see. That's so good to see. And just like that, Allen's on top now, 7-2. He's running away with this, and this is a race to 9, I believe.
Race
Is that
to
right?
9 on
Race
both
to 9
sides,
On
yeah.
both sides, yeah. This is great. It's fantastic.
Aramis balls and Simona's cloth. The only way that we roll
That's right. The
in the
best out
booth,
there.
in case you're wondering, there he is, folks. It's Jared Arasamina and myself, and that's the man,
Hello, guys.
the myth and the magic, the Jazz Man.
We'd like to thank each and every one of you for purchasing the stream. Obviously,
Absolutely.
I know you're enjoying this because Upstate Al is doing it, so I know that you're enjoying this big time.
Well, I'm enjoying it because everybody kind of puts their time and effort into it. It's a team effort. It's not me. You know, I just lay the layout and
Oh, I forgot about the
We
guys.
goes with it.
I forgot about the guys in the truck too.
The
We got to
guys
give
in the
them
truck.
give them a special shout out.
we might be heading out to Castle Billiards in the next day or two.
Oh, really?
And they got a $200 entry tournament. It's open pro. A lot of the major pros are heading out to Kuwait, but guys like Josh Robert, Alan Rolon, you know, open pro players are probably going to go out to Castle. They got over 40-something open pros already.
Right.
So I might head out there. No guarantee yet. It's not in stone. Boy, oh boy, does it get any rougher.
I tell you, this is horrible. I just, my heart right now bleeds for Josh. You know, he's such a great player. And for the folks at home that don't know who Josh Roberts is, trust me when I tell you, he is really struggling here this morning, or should I say this afternoon. He's having a very tough time. I haven't seen him shoot
feeling
like
bad.
this.
Upstate's feeling bad from him. He happens to be my horse.
Really?
I kind of bought him in a player's auction.
Ah. Oh, that's okay.
And I had nothing to do about putting him on the live stream.
That's okay.
So this is hurting me as much as it's hurting him because this is a B-side match, so the loser will be eliminated.
Right. Well, don't worry. I got you dinner tonight, buddy. You'll be fine.
My other secret horse is still in it too.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
That's good to
yeah.
hear. I tell you, I'm so impressed by Allen. I mean, I always was when I saw him, but man, he's shooting so smooth.
He's been
right
around
now.
a while.
Yes, he has.
You know.
Yeah. But he's kept under the radar, you know, on purpose. You know, he's definitely kept under the radar, and I can understand it. You know.
A little close and funky to your work.
Yep.
Going to have to play safe. He calls safe automatically. The 4 ball will rest up by the 8.
Yep.
He's going to try to drag the cue ball here behind the in the 6-10 area. Nice slow stroke.
Look at that. I mean, just smooth, just so smooth. Great save.
And this is what you're looking at when you're Josh Roberts. It's 7-2. Your only really decent shot was the one prior to this, and you wind up scratching on it.
Yep.
Now you're looking at jumping again and hitting the 4 ball and calling safe, of course.
Tell you, the only thing you got to watch with this jump shot is the scratch inside. And look at that.
There it is.
There it is.
Called it.
You know,
Jarrett's right on top of it.
man, I got to tell you, I feel so bad for him.
You know, shooting that shot kind of resembles the break shot in 9 ball. If you
Right.
come off that head ball a little to the left or the right, those side pockets become 10 times the size that they are right now.
That's right.
And even though it was a funny angle and looked like a real sharp angle, those pockets grow.
Yep. That's why personally I like kicking at that ball better, just to ensure that I've got a safe hit on it. But at this point, Josh is he's got to be feeling so bad that he's just out there winging it at the moment. Nothing else you can do.
Well, he's going to try to get him on
3 foul. Is this a 3 foul rule?
Yeah,
in effect? Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, what a way to go to the hill here if you can 3 foul your opponent, especially if your opponent's a Josh Roberts. That's just, wow. That's like rubbing salt in the wound right there.
Well, Josh, don't hit this. I don't see Allen playing them 3 fouls.
Yeah.
He's on 1 now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he's on 1.
I see Allen running out.
Yeah.
6 ball. Then again, 6 ball's in a funny area. The 5 to the 6. He's got to come to the short side of the 6 or come really down below it. And then, of course, he has the 7 in the side pocket.
Yeah.
But now I like this. See, he called the corner pocket. And I like calling a pocket. You're kicking into it. The worst that can happen is you're going to wind up safe again.
Right. Oh, he almost. But
Now he might play him safe.
yeah, he gave it to
Oh,
him.
he was
gave-
on 3?
Yeah, he gave him the rack there. I didn't know he was on 2 at that
Oh,
point.
he was on 2 already. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Didn't realize it.
Yeah, I
And
missed-
you
I
were
missed that too.
you were talking about him going to the hill.
Yeah.
He's on the hill, 8-2.
Table 27, Ivan Corteza.
Lee Van and Calabiato are playing on the table. Actually, they're going to be playing on one of our tables that we cover with the cameras. So, well, this is Copigny here. He's playing Victor now. So, our match with Darren Appleton and Shane Van Boning is up next. But if it should end early, we'll definitely switch over to, one of the other matches that are taking place. That Lee Van Corteza and Carlos Beato. Well, I tell you, that's going to be a fight to the finish.
Oh, yeah. I can't mention Carlo Beato. I can't hear his name that I don't immediately think of the Manny Pacquiao Cup the very first year, which is about 2 or 3 years ago. And that was one of the events where Shane Van Boning was in, and it was a 10-ball event, obviously. And it's a call shot, call shot thing. And you heard about this, right?
Ronnie Alcano, I believe, was involved in that.
That's exactly right. The 10 ball was about 3 inches from the side pocket. The cue ball was perfectly straight in line with it, to where it was an obvious shot. But because he did not call the 10 ball, the ref, the player said you didn't call the 10, and the ref says yes, you didn't call the 10, and he ended up losing that. And he was in the finals. That was the final.
And Ronnie Alcano claimed that he just asked the ref the rule, and
Yeah.
the ref got involved.
Yep. So, I can't, every time I hear
Boy,
Carlo
I felt
Beato.
bad for Shane.
Yeah.
And boy, oh boy, was I hot when I saw that. I happened to see that.
Yeah. I was watching it as well, and
That was the year that the stream was kind of glitchy and
That's
stuff,
right.
but then all of a sudden it got nice and it stayed a while. And
right.
yeah, I watched that.
Yeah.
A lot of times I don't sign in. I just sit in the back and watch it.
Sure,
I kind
sure.
of feel like I'm promoting myself if I sign in because I'm always using the same name.
Right, right.
So I just sit back.
But yeah, I felt bad for Shane. I mean, he immediately just,
Wrapped
screwed
up.
us, wrapped it up, took it home.
I had enough.
But especially for Carlo Beato, because that was the actual final, and the other gentleman was on the hill, and I don't know if it was a hill match. My mind wants to say it was a hill match.
I can't recall.
I think Beato was shooting for the win. I'm pretty sure that that's correct. That it was a hill match, and because he didn't call the 10, it was. Let's just say it was a win that I would not have wanted to win that way. That's just me.
Rules are rules.
Yep, that's right.
And that's kind of the discipline I was talking about yesterday. A lot of the Taiwanese contingent players that are here, I would say out of the 10, 8 of them do not speak English at all.
Right.
And they were calling their shots out safe, corner pocket on the live feed right here, which just goes to show you that the interpreters that are with them are doing their jobs.
Correct.
Because now, of course, Tony Robles and Finnegan can't go over the rules in Chinese and all the different languages.
Right.
So the interpreter has to do it, and the player gets up there and says safe,
Right.
Yeah. Corner,
Right. That's right.
Shows you the discipline.
That's right, and it shows that even if they don't speak a lot of English, at least they have the enough English to say safe, to say corner pocket, side pocket, that type of thing.
So the rules are the rules, and when you really have discipline like that, even though it's straight in or whatever it is, you're going to call
right. That's
side pocket.
Yep, you're right.
But anyway, Shane Van Boning, 5-time U.S. Open champion now.
I got to tell you, I was so proud to have witnessed that in person. And he just had a hunger in him. I mean, I don't know if you know the story. I'll give you a little teeny bit of a backstory here as Josh Roberts shoots this, or attempts to shoot this 3-ball.
Yeah, go ahead,
here.
fill us in because we like to hear it.
Let me tell you, he went online, and he was saying that he got an anonymous phone call on his cell phone. So
Yes.
obviously it was somebody that either got his number or knew who he was and,
Yeah.
or knew him.
They gave him a pep talk.
They
yeah.
gave him a, let's just say they gave him a little bit of a pep talk, and it was in a very nasty, negative way. But being the type of person that Shane Van Boening is, when he was younger, because of his, hearing disability, he was bullied a lot, in school. And, so he took this very seriously when, he got this nasty message on his cell phone. But what it did is it lit a fire under him. He was able to filter in what he needed and filter out the rest. And ever since he got that call, he had even more motivation. I mean, I know he wanted to win it for Barry Berman. He dedicated, that tournament to Barry Berman because he wanted to win that 5th one for him to tie Earl Strickland's record. But make no mistake, that message lit such a fire underneath Shane and put a fire in his belly that I have never seen anybody grind back as hard as he did in some very grueling matches. And I mean, his mental focus was there. I mean, everything about him, you could tell he wanted this. I've never seen him win a tournament more than this one, ever. It was just amazing.
Well, when Shane showed up on location here, I said, please go over to Earl Strickland and tell him I'm a 5-time U.S. Open champion also.
I sent a text message literally as the crowd was still cheering. I sent a text message to Earl and said Shane, did it. He tied your record, and Shane loves you. I said he lists you always as his favorite player of all time.
Well,
And
believe it or not to cut you short, I happened to be here prior to that match.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
I watch, I'm allowed to watch via
Sure.
Pat and I and Jim Fredericks and the whole crew
Right.
to watch, but I didn't have time to watch any of it. I was talking to Jim on the phone quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And when the finals came up, I had no horse in the race, but I was pulling for Shane.
Right.
And prior to the finals, Earl and I were spending some time talking about a new concept of his game.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, he said, Al, he says, I really wish Shane would win it. He says, he's a good kid, plays well.
Right.
Shane wins it, comes to town. Well, guess where Shane is staying?
With
At
Earl.
Earl's.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, 2 champions. Between them, they got 10 U.S. Open championships under their belts.
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, my goodness, 10 between the two of them. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's
It's just ridiculous.
As much as people might say, well, Earl really doesn't want him
Right.
to get this 5th. Well, they are staying together at Earl's apartment. Earl was pulling for him all the way.
Right. Well, it
Real
just
nice.
goes to show you how dominant, that Shane Van Boening is still in the game today. I've been to the last 4 U.S. Opens in a row. My first one was in 2013. So I went to the 2013, 2014, 2015, and then this year, just last week, 2016. So the last 4 years, I've only seen Shane Van Boening lose one of them. Now, if that doesn't tell you something right there, just how dominant he is, and that tournament was represented by 27 countries, which is just absolutely 27 different players from 27 different countries. It's just ridiculous. So, to be here in Steinway Billiards right now, to see Shane Van Boening just sitting watching some of the other players, and have Earl Strickland watching some of the other players in the same room together, and like you said, 10 U.S. Open championships between them, it's awe-inspiring for me.
Yeah, this is an atmosphere you really want to be in. Come on down to Steinway Billiards and rub elbows
Oh, yeah.
with the champions.
And that's another thing, too. You can, if they're not playing and they're sitting, having a coffee or whatever on their break, eating a little something, they don't mind. In most cases, they don't mind if you walk up to them, say hello. They're very amenable to that. They're very humble about that. And they love talking and interacting with the fans. And this is one of the only sports to where you can really actually do something like that.
Right.
And I love it. That's what makes this in my opinion, makes this the greatest sport in the world.
Yeah. When you can get up front and close.
Yep.
Try that with a basketball player or a baseball player. You can't.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. I know he wanted to pull that rock a little further away, but this is still cut-a-makeable.
Yeah, it is cut-a-makeable, that's for sure.
Hello, Snooki. I just wanted to say that.
She'll be here.
Yep.
She'll be here. Shot.
Going back and forth there, and speed counts, and he got it. Beautiful shot.
kind of walking around like shoulders kind of drooping and stuff. You know.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
don't-
his body language shows it. Shows he's dejected, but you know what? He's going through the motions right now. He really needed that rack, obviously.
8-3.
Yeah, for obvious reasons. And, hopefully you never know. I mean, it's never over till it's over.
So what do you
right?
got going on there, Jared? I know you got your music on iTunes.
Oh, yeah. I got my music on iTunes and working on another album
All
at the
right.
moment, and just, I've taken a little time off from touring. I toured pretty much all last year with Junior Marvin, as you know, from the
Yeah.
Whalers.
It's hard for me to remember all
Yep.
the names, but yeah, I remember.
But right now, I'm just sitting back, and focusing. Actually, to be honest with you, I'm focusing on, just doing some local work up and down the East Coast and, recording a little bit. But I'm trying to get my pool game together. And I tell you, this is one thing for me. I'm not going to go into, pool for the money because, for
Right,
me,
right.
it's tough.
Do you think
But-
the pool world is
Oh, yeah.
getting you recognized also?
Well, without a doubt.
Without a
I
doubt,
mean,
huh?
thanks largely in part to you.
Well, that's
honestly,
my
Al,
goal.
Because,
That's my goal. That's my goal.
I
sir.
tell people all the time, you're the one who came up with my pool moniker, and I love it. And but no, seriously, I mean, being able to, drive up here to Steinway Billiards from Washington D.C., every month or every 2 months, and be able to take lessons from Earl Strickland, I mean, a 5-time U.S. Open champion,
Yeah.
6-time world champion. I mean,
That's a trip too.
amazing,
It's not a walk
you know?
around the block. It's
Oh,
not like,
no.
hey, I'll be right back. I'm going out for a drink.
No, that's
soda
very
or
true.
something.
Very true. But I mean, I love the players. I love the sport. I mean,
Yeah.
it's to me, it's the. I used to play semi-pro ice
It's a
hockey when I was
community.
younger. And
Semi-pro.
semi-pro ice hockey. Yep. And it was a AAA team called the Virginia Lancers back in the early to mid '80s. And I ended up hurting my knee really bad, and I couldn't play anymore.
Hockey doesn't usually get you injured.
Yeah, that's really. But I tell you, I've never played a sport as tough as this. This is, and it's just challenging all the time, and I love it. But right now I'm averaging practicing at home when I am at home. I average practicing pool about 6+ hours a day. And I'm constantly.
That's
on
what
the
it
table.
requires.
I love
Yeah,
it,
the game does require that.
Yep.
And even in the prime, at
Yep.
the top of the heat, so to say,
I think the
you
biggest.
still got to put the time in.
Right. I think the biggest compliment from my last lesson with Earl, because what I do, folks, is I take a 3-hour lesson from Earl. He charges $75 an hour, minimum 2 hours up front, which I think is, to be perfectly honest with you, I think he's charging too little for what he gives you. But, I have to honestly say that he's improved my game 100-fold. I've been doing this now going on a little over 3 years now. And what I do is I take a total of 3-hour lesson with him at a time. The first 2 hours is obviously the lesson. He shows me some positional shots and what he does, helping me with my mechanics and everything. But then the last hour, we play each other.
Right.
And I'm like, I tell him, I said, don't hold back. I said, I want you to kill me. I said, just beat me into oblivion, and that way, it helps my game, to play against someone who's still to this day, a world caliber player. And the biggest compliment he gave me, he actually gave it to my wife, as he said, if I don't run out on Jared, if I miss, Jared's going to run out on me. So I was able to get a few racks on him, and it felt really, really good.
Yeah, he's not just going to give you the game. You're going to have to
No,
earn it.
You're going to have to earn it, right. So he doesn't lay back for anybody, believe me. So, Al, I'm just looking right now to improve my pool game. And, music is always there, so I'm always working, with music. But, yeah, I'm looking to, possibly get up here and play some tournaments if I can. Where I live in D.C., it's tough. There's not a lot of pool tournaments there. Not like the upper, East Coast, like from New York all the way up to Rhode Island and
Right.
all the way up to New England. I mean, there's so many great
All the way up to
tournaments
Maine,
here.
yeah.
Yeah, all the way up to Maine. There's so many great tournaments here, and I wish, that I could live in this area, just, for my pool game.
Or just have a private plane or helicopter or something to take you around. Yeah, I'd love that.
Yep.
I know the feeling. When you got to travel that far, it's not that easy. I do a lot of traveling.
Yes,
hey,
you
look
do.
at this. You talk about traveling. Something underneath the skin of Josh got there. He must
Yep.
have stepped out. They took a break, and he said, "You know what? I got to swing for the fences, and this
Yeah.
is part of it."
Yeah, he's mounting a little bit of a comeback here, especially if he pots this 10 ball, which he does.
Yeah.
Brilliant shot there.
So it's 8-4 right now.
Yep.
Alan Rolon still on the hill. But Josh is breaking. It's a win-a-break format. So don't count them out. Any one of these two players can hit you with a package.
That's right.
Talking about a package, we had Justin Muller in the booth talking about this package. He said the light's like an inch thick. So it's very light. It's light-systems.com. And, of course, Baltimore City Q's. They were supposed to send me that new graphic. I got to, well, maybe, speaking about the devil, might have come through. Oh, that's Sierra.
I tell you one thing with this, one thing that I really, really like now, even more so about Steinway Billiards, is they switched over to the blue cloth, the tournament blue cloth.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. It's, for me, in my eyes, it's so much easier to see the balls. I love it. I love it. Absolutely love it. Josh Roberts, man, it's a pretty snazzy break there, and as long as that 3 doesn't roll up on him, and he's got a shot at the 3. It's not a great shot, but it's definitely makeable. And it's just now getting from the 3 to the 5 ball there. Or he's got the 1 ball on the table. Sorry about that, folks. I'm having a hard time seeing the screen here a little bit. So yeah, he can get on this 3 ball pretty easily. Yeah, he's in good shape here, folks.
Do you need more lighting?
No, it's just me. Okay. It's just me. I switched over. You've got Al has about 19 screens here to look at, and I picked screen number 14, and I need to go over to number 16 here. So. It's a bigger screen. Yeah, Josh is mounting a comeback here. He's feeling pretty good. You can even tell with his body language now. He's not as slumped over as he was. He's moving a little bit, more briskly around the table. He's feeling pretty good right now. He's just getting down to business, letting his arm go, and now he's shooting great. This is the Josh Roberts that I know. And that table was as close to a Cosmo as you can get, folks. But he needed something like that, to keep his momentum going here. He's in good shape here. With the deposit of this 10 ball, Josh Roberts is now pulled back up. Hill to 5, it looks like, 8-5. Mounting a bit of a comeback here.
Yeah, and he's got a break coming up, too. All right. Now, it's something like this, I've seen it happen many a times. I'm sure all of us have. When you're down in the dumps, you're grinding and nothing seems to be working. Your first shot, you get up there and you shoot it, you scratch, and it just keeps going downhill from then. And all of a sudden, the guy gets this a spread on you.
Oh, man.
And he's got the shot in the side pocket.
Yes, he does.
For the 4, he's not shooting the 4, he's shooting the 1.
That's right, yeah.
Well, this is not this easy.
No, it's not.
You got to accept the longer shot on the 4 in this.
And with everything out in the open like this, if he misses, he's pretty much guaranteed to sell the farm here.
He's desperate.
Oh, I thought he came with it there.
Yeah, it's hard.
But he may have gotten fortunate. But this is call safe, right?
Yeah, he might get this back if there's nothing visible. Let me put the scoreboard up for the people at home. It's 8-5, racing a 9.
He's looking to see if he looks like he can.
Now, this is where the game gets strategic because Alan knows just by watching the last 2 racks that he doesn't have to get back to the table.
Right.
But he gives the shot back to Josh.
Right.
So that shows his discipline. In other words, I want to end this match, but I'm not desperate to end this match.
Right.
You're desperate to catch me. I'm on the hill. So the pressure's on Josh.
Right.
So that's pretty good psychology. Go for it, he says.
I tell you, with that miss there. Let's see here. Yep, that miss there. I think that might just spell the end for Mr. Roberts for this match here.
Well, Alan can put this set to rest right here.
I tell you, Al, it doesn't look too good for Josh right now. It really doesn't. Everything out. I mean, this is basically target practice. I mean, the only tough thing is the 8-ball because it's kind of in a funky spot near the on the rail near the what I like to call Devil's Point.
Well, Troy, NJ pool player, wants to say hello to the Jazzman and all the fans and everybody out there
Hey,
in the
Troy,
air.
where are you, buddy? You coming in?
Well, has to get his priorities straight. He's supposed to be here instead of at the doctor's office. He's coming here later on, I would imagine.
What is it? Was the doctor sick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The doctor's on fire.
I tell you one thing. I love the way Alan plays. I mean, he's just, you know, what a great player this young man is.
Steve Haynes. Jarrett, sing the national anthem. Thanks, Al. I missed his sax version there Saturday, but it was fabulous.
Thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate the vote of confidence there, my friend.
Alan Rolon in Puerto Rico is about to put this set to sleep, Larry Ross and Jazz. Look at this. We were just talking about that shot. Now,
yeah.
First time he tried it, he went the opposite way and hit the point.
That's
that
right.
time he didn't hit the point, and that's exactly what Copigny did.
Right.
Every shot went except for the one up table. Yep. Kind of got
What
up
a
on that kind
shot.
of quick, though.
I think that's it. And Josh Roberts, there you have it, folks.
Yeah, my horse is out of it. But Alan Rolon defeats him and sends him packing. This is an elimination round right there, but the next one coming up isn't. The next one coming up is going to be Darren Appleton and Shane Van Boning right here on the main table. We want to thank the Jazzman, Jared Arasamini. He's not going anywhere.
Nope.
Larry Ross, folks. Here he is. Sit up, Larry. Let me take the scoreboard off your head. There he is. He's right here.
The one, the only, legendary.
Camera's
right
up here, Larry. Darren Appleton, Shane Van Boning coming up. All right, guys, we'll be right back.
Next up on table